Welcome to Revit 2019 Demo 45. We're going to continue where we left off in Revit 2019 Demo 44. For this lecture, what we're going to talk about is basically creating a PDF of your Revit sheets. So this will be how you're submitting your assignments throughout the semester, including your final assignment. But before we get started, we want to make sure that our sheet browser is set up in the correct fashion that reflects the midterm assignment. And so what we're going to do is we're going to create new sheets, and we're going to load in the title block that we had created from a past assignment. So you're going to navigate to wherever you're saving your demo files under Families and load in the ArcD24x36 custom title block. Mine's named Brian. So I'm going to load that in. So I have my title block loaded in. And I'm going to rename this to SD101 is the number, and the name is going to be Schematic Design Drawings, and this is going to be where you place your first 5 assignments. Now, if it exceeds this sheet space, you can add a SD102, and that's okay. One thing you'll notice as you're creating these sheets is the hierarchy here may not fit the hierarchy of the midterm layout, and that's okay. What I'm looking for is that you at least have the sheets in there. So we're going to go in and rename this one to C101, and it's going to be cover. And then I'm going to create another new sheet and just kind of go down the list. C102, it does it automatically. So if I expand sheets, we're going to rename C102, and that one's going to be site. We're going to create another new sheet. We have an A101 slab, which is good. Slab/foundation. We have an A201 floor plan. We don't have an A202, so we're going to create that. We're going to rename this to A202 enlarged floor plan areas. I'm going to create another sheet, which is A203 typical room plans. So we'll rename that typical room plans. And we'll go in and add another sheet for the electrical plan, A204 electrical plan. Then A301, we don't have any of those, so we'll create a new one, rename A301. Notice that as I'm doing this, it's naming it correctly if I define the first value. So now when I create a new sheet, it's going to create the correct number. It's numbering it correctly. So A302 is ceiling details. That's Revit's way of trying to help automate the process. We're going to do A401, rename A401 roof plan. 501 exterior elevations are there, 502 exterior elevations are there, but I want elevation details on this sheet, so we're going to rename this to elevation details. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to 503, so we'll do new sheet, 503, A503, enlarged elevations. If you make a mistake, you can shift tab up or tab down, so that's one way that you can navigate this prompt faster. And then we're going to go in, do we have A601? Yes, we do. 602 is there. 701, we don't have 603, so we're going to create 603. Rename A603. Detail sections. And then we want to do A701 interior elevations. We want to make sure that this isn't int elevations. We'll do interior, all capitals. We do want to create a new sheet of ArcD A702. So we're going to rename this A702. Finish schedules. And then we'll create another one called material schedules, which will be 703. And then we need A704 interior details. A801 for door and window schedules, which we have. A901 will be miscellaneous. So we'll go ahead and change that to MISC for now. Could be 3D views, renderings, whatever. And then that's the bulk of the lists of what we're looking for. Now what's interesting is I have some sheets set up, but I also have some ARC, what size are these? D size sheets these aren't ARC D, these are just D engineering size. So I can right click select all in entire project, and I can change any instance that's an ARC D size sheet to the correct custom title block. And what that's going to do is basically adjust the values so that every sheet looks correct. Now, if you have a situation like this where one of your schedules is off balance, you can actually move this arrow back. So I can come up here, I grabbed the wrong arrow. I can grab this and drag it back, and it will snap it back. So just know that. But notice that my title block is reflective of what I'm looking for. And my door and window schedule is updating to fill out the sheet name. And my sheet number's up there. I don't have a scale on the sheet, therefore it's not updating it. But if I were to go to wall sections, I do have a scale on the sheet. And so that is a really nice way of being able to update my sheets real quickly. And now I can start printing these to PDF so that I can start reviewing them. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a 24 by 36 PDF for the client. In this case, the client is going to be me, and we're going to print this out so that I can review your work. So we're going to go to File, Print. You're going to hit Print, and then this dialog will come up. All the computers at school do have a Bluebeam PDF reader. Bluebeam's very powerful. It's kind of beyond the extent of this class, but it's also like Adobe PDF, so it's just a glorified PDF reader. If I open up Bluebeam, generally it's Review 2018 Extreme. It looks like this. We'll get into this a little bit just to show you what the capabilities are of what you could use it for, but I'll go ahead and print this to Bluebeam PDF. If you're printing on a school computer, it will have Bluebeam PDF. If you're printing from your own computer, you may not have any of these, and you may only have Microsoft Print to PDF. The functions are all the same, so no matter which one you're printing to, it's generally the same. The difference will be the settings dialog box. Now what I want to do is I want to combine multiple selected views and sheets into a single file, and I want to select certain views and sheets. Notice as I selected it, it changed. So you want to pay attention to that because it will bump things around. So I'm going to select, and I only want to view the sheets. So I'm going to uncheck views, and I'm going to check all sheets because I want all sheets to be printed. I'm going to hit OK. Do you want to save these settings for use in a future session? You could save these, but for right now we're going to say no. We don't need to right now. Ideally, in the future, if you're printing consistently for this class, you could say yes. We'll go ahead and say yes, but you don't have to say yes. You could say Gallatin College, Revit1, plot set, okay. And then you'll notice that I have that saved now. So when I uncheck views, all my sheets are selected. So that's predefined now throughout the rest of the semester. Now if I hit setup, I can change this to be an ARC-D size sheet, 24 by 36. I want to offset from corner with no margin, and I want to zoom at 100%. And I want the quality to be presentation or high. You'll see variable differences between the two. We're in landscape, that's good. We're not going to get into vector and raster printing. There can be problems that occur between the two. We'll get into that a little bit later. We can save this if we want and do a save as, and we could call it Gallatin College Revit 124 by 36. Or you could just say 24 by 36. Let's just do Gallatin 24 by 36. Hit OK. We'll hit OK. And now you'll notice I have Gallatin College Revit 1 plot set and then Gallatin 24 by 36. I want to combine multiple selected views and sheets into a single file. I've selected the values. That's good. Notice I can't click preview. The reason why is because I don't have current window selected. If I have current window selected, then I can preview it. So notice I've got a nice title block on there. I have my sheet set up. and that's good. When I hit escape, it's going to exit out of the print command, so I have to just go back to print because I previewed it. I'm going to select all. It looks good. 24 by 36. Everything's golden. I'm going to hit OK. What's going to happen now is it's going to run, and you're going to get a Save As dialog box that pops up. And what you're going to want to do is call this general convention would be, we'll just call it a home for Mr. Peterson. It's good to leave out the periods, but I have a period in there. We'll see what happens. And we can always date it, 02/17/2019 in this case. Save it to my desktop. It's going to convert it. On my other screen, I have review opening, which then opens here. And you'll notice that it went through and printed an entire set of my project. Now that's super powerful because now I can start to kind of preview what's going on. So as I'm building this set and printing these sheets out, I can come back and take a look at this and really get like an updated driven set. Now, one thing to note is my SD101 really should be my front page. So I can drag that up and place it in the front. And then I can go in here, C102, C101, that's my cover. I can drag both of those up and place them there. So that's one quick way, and the power behind Bluebeam is I can reorganize the set. And now when I close out, yes, I want to save the changes. And then when I open up review again, it will actually allow me to open up the file, and it's all in order. So that's important. Now the thing that's going to change is if I print this again for an updated set, these won't be in order. But I've at least been able to move them into the correct order for my submittal to basically save that and upload to D2L. So that's a basic rough rundown of what we're looking for. I definitely want you to spend time going through these print dialog settings because it's important to know if you're printing to color and you have something in color on here, it will print to color. It's better to go to black lines for this set. If you set up all the sheets, it's going to be super helpful for you. Getting everything saved in and locked in is huge. We can save that back to those settings. And then every time you go to print, it's just pre-populated for you. So you're just working and printing published sets. So that's the extent for this lecture for demo 45. And we're going to go ahead and hit cancel here because we've already saved these values and close out. And we're going to do a file save as project. We want to save this as demo 45. And I will see you in the next lecture.